Welcome to the Mor-In The Know podcast. I'm your host, Josh Mor-In, Vice President and co-founder of Field Supplements, as well as sobriety, woke business, and wellness coach. Mor-In The Know delivers an array of content based on marketing, health and fitness, personal branding, addiction, and often goes down the rabbit hole of politics, conspiracy, and the truth. If you seek to better understand the inner workings of human performance, consciousness, business, and humanity, you've come to the right place. Thank you for tuning in and tagging along. Let's get today's podcast started. What is happening? All more in the know listeners out there. This is episode number 5, a solo episode, including yours truly, Josh Moore. And I appreciate each and every one of you hopping on. This has been a dream come true here in the last 5 weeks. The world as we know it will be never the same. The world will never be the same again. We are waiting and wanting to rush back into a norm, but that is not the case. That just will not be the case. Our lives are forever changed. There will be a common ground, but there's going to be a new norm. So we must prepare ourselves for a new norm. And that's why tonight's podcast is titled, Josh is Losing His Mind. I am losing my mind. Absolutely, yes. Believe it or not, there is people who believe that I am losing my mind indeed. And it's incredible what will happen when you start to post some things and content on Facebook or Instagram or social media platforms that don't abide by other people's viewpoints. Here's the thing, people. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, all these things are real. If you do live in the land of the free and the home of the brave, and you do believe these things and you are a patriot, then I am entitled to how I feel, and you are entitled to how you feel. But when that's all said and done, the thing about life is I simply do not comment. I do not share my thoughts on things that I'm uneducated about. You're not going to hear me talk about something that I'm uneducated about simply because I do not know enough to be able to form a perspective or thoughts on the certain topic. Therefore, I'm not going to go ahead and speak or touch on that topic simply due to the fact that it would be coming out of straight ignorance. And I feel that that's where we're at in the world right now, is ignorance. And I feel that ignorance is not bliss, but ignorance is a state that a lot of people are living in right now. And I truly believe those who are listening to this podcast do not live in that state. They are not in a state of ignorance. You guys are in a state of truth. You guys are in a state of truth because you are truth seekers. The truth is not taught, it is learned, and the truth shall set you free. So whenever you are ready to unveil what is in front of us that is keeping us blinded as the human population begins and continues to point fingers at each person, say he said, she said, divide ourselves by religions, divide ourselves by skin color, divide ourselves by organizations, continually divide ourselves by men and women. If you're continually part of a dichotomy and you're sitting here pointing your finger saying, I'm on this side and you're on that side, instead of saying we as people, then you'll continually add and be part of the problem. So I wanted to hop on here and do this podcast because I've had a number of people speak out about my posts and my actions and say, Josh is losing his mind. And yes, I am absolutely 100% losing my fucking mind, man. You know why I'm losing my mind? I'm losing my mind because I have been diving down the rabbit hole into the truth, and I've opened and pried my brain wide open. I've taken the veil and I've pushed it absolutely to the side, and I've allowed myself to let the truth set me free. And once you get into this position, people are going to start calling you a conspiracy theorist. Josh is losing his mind. Man, there's something wrong with him. He's really, really losing it. He's really going off the deep end. And if that's what you want to say, and if that's what you want to believe, and that's your stance, then so be it. But what I will say is that I will continually have love for each and every person who believes I'm going off the deep end, because I have empathy and sympathy for where you are at and your inability to want to open and pry your mind open to the truths. When you want to find out the answers are there before us. And us as people, more than ever, must unveil the truth. And the truth will set us free. There's going to have to become a time where we stand up as people, begin to fight for our liberties, fight for our rights, and no longer let the elites, let these cults, these politicians continually suppress and repress us, take away our liberties, take away our rights, and make us into sheep. We are no longer sheep. It's time to come out of the shadows. It's time to wake the fuck up. And by waking up, what does that mean? By waking up, that it means it's time to drop your ego, it's time to let go of what you think and what you have been brainwashed for years and years and years and years through the school system, through mainstream media, through Hollywood, through politicians, through everything that has been entering our brains, through CNN, NBC, ABC, World News, Disney, Hollywood. All these outlets are and have an agenda. All these outlets have an agenda, and majority of those agendas are all tied to one thing. And so that's what this podcast is about. I'm not going to hold back anymore on the information that I share on this podcast, my beliefs, because guess what? The 35 fucking listeners who actually listen to this podcast, who reach out to me and say, thank you for posting this, those are the people I'm speaking to. I'm not speaking to the people who think I'm going off the deep end, because the people who think I'm going off the deep end aren't even listening to my fucking podcast to begin with. So I'm going to speak to you, the people, the patriots, those who believe in me, believe in my mission, believe in the truth, because you are a true seeker and you deserve to be a true seeker. You deserve to be somebody who is not on the sheep's leash. It's time to cut yourselves free of the chains, man. It's time to cut yourselves free. And with that being said, when people say I'm losing my mind, here is the facts. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how much you accomplish, no matter what your intentions are, no matter what your actions are, you will never make everyone happy. And that's absolutely okay. You know why? Because it's not your job to make other people happy. You literally hear this all the time, and it's so cliche. Your job as a human being is to make yourself happy, to discover that happiness and that truth within yourself, and just be you. That's your job. Because regardless, I've been on both sides of the tracks. It's funny because regardless of whatever I do in my life, when I was running around, being a barefoot hippie, living in the mountains, living a vagabond lifestyle with a beard, long hair, and no shoes, people had their thoughts and their opinions. They thought, man, Josh is really going off the fucking deep end. And now here I am, over a year of sobriety in, tens and thousands of dollars put towards personal development, education, and developing my skill set. And I still have the same people that are saying Josh is going off the deep end once again. And here's the facts, is you're never going to be right for the wrong people. You will always be right for the right people. And the people who have listened up to this far and continually jump on this podcast, you guys are the right people. That's who I'm speaking to. And so the reason why I really wanted to do this is because maybe you in your life are trying to send a message, or you're trying to embody who you are as a person, and you're starting to receive some resistance. Maybe there's some toxicity in your life, and maybe your parents don't agree with what you're doing, your boyfriend doesn't agree with what you're doing, the guy, the mailman, the dog walker, whoever doesn't agree with what you're doing, and maybe there has to come a point in time where you say, okay, thank you, and you have to detach yourself emotionally from these people. Not saying that you have to cut them off and tell them, fuck you. I'm saying is that you have to detach yourself from the opinions that they put on you. You have to let go of the thoughts and feelings that they have towards what you are doing, because at the end of the day, you are the only person who has to look at yourself in the mirror. So it's up to you. You hold the keys to all the doors. Being your best self is going to be the only thing that you will ever have to do in this world. Just be your best self and live your best life. So what does being your best self and living your best life mean? Well, your definition of being your best and living your best is up to you. To me, it's developing the skills, habits, and mindset necessary to develop a culture. Living my best life means waking up each day, having a purpose, setting small attainable goals, reaching those goals, and continually being consistent time and time again. It's eating right, treating my body, fueling the temple, as well as working out, exercising, and allowing myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically to be in tune with my higher self, that source. And whatever you call source, if you call it God, if you call it Allah, if you call it Ra, if you call it Buddha, whoever you call or whatever you call, spirit, universe, your true and higher self, whatever it is, you must attune yourself to this frequency, this vibration, and allow yourself to tap into this understanding and this state of knowing. Because when you know, you just know. And when you are connected to your higher self, your knowing self, your true self, you live in this state of here and now. That's called the present. When you can pinch yourself and you can say, man, I'm right here. I'm fucking in Glendale, Arizona at 11:14 p.m. at night, and I'm living, baby. I'm breathing amongst the times. No matter what's on the outside of me, I know what's going on the inside of me because I am peaceful. And that is what we are responsible for as people. We might not be able to control our outer state completely, but by allowing ourselves to tap in and tune into the frequencies of our inner selves and our higher source power, we're able to really, really level up and transcend the levels of consciousness, be able to heighten our vibration. And by heightening our vibration, we allow our surroundings to do exactly the same. I posted something the other day. It said, vibe so good, you only hit green lights. Vibe so good, you get the front row at the grocery store every day. Vibe so good, your ticket gets upgraded to first class. Vibe so good, you always have something good happen to you. And that's the message here. Have that vibe and tune into that frequency. And the only way to be able to tune into that frequency is through consistency, through letting go, through understanding the cause to the effect of why you do what you do. If you continually perpetuate these feelings of shame, guilt, abandonment, fear, and rejection, these low levels of vibration, you will continually attract what you expect and what you reflect into your reality. And once you're able to let go, once you're able to transcend the levels of consciousness, heighten your vibration, enter courage, pride, then all of a sudden you're able to enter into joy, love, bliss, and ultimately enlightenment. You're getting out of force and you're getting into power. You're letting go of resistance and you're getting into flow. And once you find that flow, once you connect to your source, you're one with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, and you're able to attract exactly who you are into your reality. Now you could say, oh, this is what the secret is, or this is what so-and-so did is, and that's absolutely right. But the only way to achieve such is by letting go. You must breathe, let go, release, and produce. That's the only way. And when these people say things to you, when people say something to you that is just not true, understand that it is from their own situation. Do not take it personal. Trust me. I have people reach out to me all the time and say very interesting things. I have people all the time reach out to me and say very interesting things. And you know what I say back to them? Absolutely nothing. Or I say, thank you. I appreciate your opinion. It's all love. God bless. Why? Because I'm not going to have a reaction to somebody's jealousy. I'm not going to have a reaction of somebody's lack of love and self-love and awareness. Come from that place. Come from that place where you're so humble you can't be humiliated. Being and having humility and being humble has nothing to do with just being this star and then all of a sudden, you don't brag or anything. Being humble is being in a place where you're calm, cool, and collective, and nothing can rousle you. You just can't be humiliated. And the reason why I can't be humiliated is because I am okay with myself. Had somebody reach out to me the other day and asked me, man, it really threw me off guard that you're projecting yourself as an addict that's in recovery. Okay. Because that's exactly what I am. And what type of shame should I have for that? Because for the years that I was an addict, that was the reason why I was a fucking addict. Was because I lived in the shame and guilt of being an addict and didn't want anybody to know that I was. And so I hid it. I lied to people. I stole. I was a chronic liar, habitual liar. I made up stories. I hid. I had many different lives. And those were the same low levels of vibration that kept me as an addict. So guess what? If you look at me different because I have had a past, I can almost guarantee you that you are an addict of some sort. Maybe You're not an addict of alcohol. Maybe you are. Maybe you're a binge user. Maybe you're an occasional user that suppresses your feelings. Maybe you smoked to escape whatever way that you would justify your addiction. Maybe you're addicted to anger. Maybe you're addicted to chaos. Maybe you're addicted to weak men or women. Maybe you're addicted to people who cheat on you and abandon you. Maybe you're addicted to rejection. Maybe you're addicted to any set of feelings that keep you suppressed and repressed. It doesn't always have to be a substance. That's not always what addiction is. So before you label me as an addict and look at me different, look within yourself. And that's what life's about. When I stepped out of my denial and into my truth and said, hey, I'm a fucking addict. When I stepped out of my denial and into my truth, and I was able to calmly and peacefully say, I am an addict. My name is Josh Mor-In, and I'm an addict. That was the most freeing thing that I've ever been able to do. Regardless of what my parents think, regardless of what my family thinks, what society thinks, I know what I've gone through, and very, very select people know what I've gone through. Why? First off, I'm a habitual liar, and I hid a lot of it from people that I love. And I know that that's what addicts do. An addict does what an addict does. And guess what? I am no longer an addict. I'm in recovery, and I'm very proud to say that. I have over a year of sobriety. And once I stepped out of that addiction, stepped out of the denial and into my power, there's a complete difference between being sober and being in recovery. Sobriety means that you're just not drinking, having sex, or consuming substances. Being in recovery means you're getting to the root of the cause of the problem, understanding why you're an addict, what caused your addictions, and how to let go. Letting go is a skill set that is performed one day at a time. And that's what I am now doing, and now I'm assisting those who seek to understand the cause and the effect of their lives, get to the root of the problem, be able to separate themselves from thoughts, feelings, and events, and be able to let go, release, and produce. And that's what I'm here as a success coach, woke spiritual, business, and wellness mentor. So if you seek to unveil the truth about yourself, get to the root of the cause, transcend levels of consciousness, if you find yourself getting ready to get ready, if you are a chronic starter and not closer, not a finisher, if you are a poser and not a closer, I can greatly assist you in becoming and understanding why this is. Let go of it so you can and be the producer, the husband, the significant other, the entrepreneur, the athlete that you deserve to be. With that being said, I appreciate everyone hopping on tonight's podcast. I love each and every one of you. I'm doing this at 11 o'clock on April 14th because I love it. I love it because if this reaches 25 people or this reaches 25,000 people, I'm still going to put the same amount of energy, effort, and compassion into each and every one of these podcasts because I know that one voice, one piece of advice that you pick up through something that I've said tonight could absolutely change your life, because I've had mentors and I've listened to podcasts and I've listened to personal development, read books, and sometimes I just pick up one thing that resonates with me, that hits home, and I'm like, whoo. You have this aha moment. You have this aha moment where you sit back and you're like, oh, fuck, man. That's exactly right. That's me. That's who I am. And if that's who you are, I understand. If you are in a place just like me, during these times, especially COVID-19, and you're beginning to wake up to the truth, you're not just following mainstream media, but you are doing your research. You're digging and diving, and you're truth seeking. You're becoming somebody one with themselves. I feel for you. I feel for you because I have been receiving, and my brain has been downloading information at a rate that I cannot even explain. I've been getting headaches because I've been receiving so much information right now, there's a ton of energy going on right now. There's a lot of good energy. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of bad energy. You got a lot of really heightened energy because people are starting to become conscious. And as that raise of consciousness happens, you elevate your vibration and you move from levels of fear, guilt, shame, and abandonment and grief, and you start to move into pride and into courage and even into anger. Anger is at a higher vibrational frequency than grief and guilt. So once you're able to move into these frequencies, as I see many people doing, people are waking up. And if you are somebody who's waking up, please reach out to me. I would love to share more information with you. I'd love to assist you in your business, on your fitness and health journey. I'm here. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight's podcast. I'll be back. I'm headed to Portland, Oregon to spend some time with some family this weekend. And guess what? I'm not afraid to travel because when you are in tune with yourself, number one, a body and ease does not attract disease. Disease cannot exist in a body of ease. And when you are one with yourself, when you are in flow, when you're out of resistance and you're in the moment, in the here and now, you simply do not attract disease because you are in ease. Thank you all for tuning in tonight on episode number 5, More in the Know. I am your host, Josh Mor-In. Be sure to check me out on all social media platforms at Josh Mor-In, Instagram at mogul_Mor-In. And be sure to check out my supplement company, Fueled Supplements. We got an array of health products from wellness, pre-workouts, recovery, weight loss, and much more. You can find us on Instagram at Fueled Supplements, Facebook at Fueled Supplements, or head to fueledsupplements.com. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a blessed day.